let's take you to a small but extremely important film festival being held in Jerusalem. It's called the 49% Festival, and it shines a light on the 49% of the population who are the disruptors of their societies and catalysts of social change. I'm talking about women, and whilst they make up half the population, they only make up 32% of national parliamentarians worldwide, 4.8% of CEO positions at S&P 500 companies, less than 30% of researchers worldwide, 24% of protagonists in Hollywood films, and 24% of persons heard, read or seen about in newspapers, television and radio news. The 49% Film Festival's mission is to develop, advance and promote women's stories through film and media. And to tell us more about it, I'm joined in studio by Paula Kweskin, human rights attorney and documentary filmmaker and founder of the Film Festival. Paula, thank you so much for joining us. Now, first of all, tell us about what made you want to start the 49% Film Festival.
Well, I got into film about 8 years ago, and I noticed that when women use their voices, and particularly when they pushed back against the status quo and tried to talk about topics that were taboo, they were often silenced. And so this is really a platform to be able to band together and advance women's voices and not be shut down, gain strength from one another.
And I want to talk about how your two professions here, because you've started off as a human rights lawyer and now you've become a filmmaker. How do the two professions complement each other in something like this?
Well, for me, I felt very frustrated in the human rights space because, unfortunately, it's like banging your head against the wall when we've got institutions like the Human Rights Council that really aren't advancing human rights as best as I think they should be advancing human rights. So to me, we live in such a media-dominant society, and people make their choices and people change their perspectives with the media, as you know. And so to me, it's such a natural fit to harness the power of media and film to open up people's eyes and change their minds.
Absolutely. Now, I want to talk about some of the films that are going to be shown at the festival. My first one I want to show is The Daughter Tree. Now, we do have a clip from there, so let's quickly have a look at the trailer.
आगे फिर या कमी होगी, लड़कियों की कमी होगी, उसमें फिर उतनी भी परेशानी आई, बेजना बन जंदा भी उधर ठीक था।
हर गांव से अलग है, लक्ष्मी मानी जाती है और बेटी के लिए कितना उत्साहित होके वही पेड़ से जो फल होता है, फल को बेच के बच्चे को पढ़ाते हैं, लड़की को, और आगे बढ़ाते हैं। शादी विवाह है, 5 साल 10 साल का बेच लिए।
Now, Paula, that's something this is a film that I'm dying to see. Now, tell me something that surprised you about this documentary film.
Well, the filmmaker, Rama Rao, she's actually coming to Jerusalem to present the film, and she filmed this entire documentary over the course of 6 years.
Wow.
And every time she went back to India, something new unfolded for her, and it really tells the story of this powerful midwife who's going against the grain. So it's the idea that one person can really make a difference.
Absolutely, that's another strong message. I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. Now, another film that is going to be a bit of a highlight is How to Be a Good Wife. That's an unusual title. Let's take a look.
Pensez-vous que nous arriverons à sauver l'école?
Si nous ouvrions un nouveau compte à votre nom.
Vous dire que j'aurai un carnet de chèques à mon nom. Elle m'a dit d'aller siffler là-haut sur la colline. Une bonne épouse se concentre sur ses tâches ménagères.
Je veux te revoir.
Non! Afin de ne pas céder à toutes ses tentations. En 2 mots, mains occupées, mauvaise pensée chassée. Ma mère? et dit à mon père qu'elle va monter à Paris rejoindre les féministes. Les quoi? Les féministes. C'est qui? Les femmes qui veulent être les égales des hommes.
Vous faites de nous des boniches, comme vous. Je veux vivre, moi. Je veux être libre.
Les mains en l'air aussi!
Je veux pas que tu sois mon esclave, je veux faire ma vie avec toi.
Si ça peut te rassurer, sache que...
Je suis un as du repassage et tu fais très bien la cuisine.
Tu sais faire la cuisine, toi?
Now, although a very amusing trailer, this is not an amusing topic. And although it's set in the 60s, have we really seen much change since then?
I'm sure certain things have changed. I mean, certainly women are in the workforce more, but the problem is that underlies it is the expectation that women have to take on the majority of the housework and the child rearing. So can we really have it all when we're doing everything? So I think stories like this, especially when funny, help us examine that question.
Absolutely. Now, the last one we're going to have a look at before we wrap up is the Feminist. This one seems interesting. Let's take a quick look at the trailer.
Ifrån någon feministisk politik. Man kan inte använda något annat ord än en diktatur.
Utrikesminister Margot Wallströms tal inför Arabförbundet stoppades av
De ställer sig 57 stater, nästan hela den muslimska världen, bakom kritiken mot utrikesminister Margot Wallströms uttalande.
Margot Wallström har blivit indragen i skandalerna kring Kommunal.
Att gå förbi bostadskön.
Det blir utomrättsliga avrättningar.
I think what the Swedish foreign minister said is outrageous.
Ja. Så det är klart att det nöter på en, men det är ju sånt som... Det har ju varit extremt högt tempo, får man säga också. Där var det. Rent personligt så är det en ensamhet i allt detta. Och det kan ju ibland överfalla en. Man kan vara på något hotellrum någonstans och så en kväll och bara tänka så här, men vad gör jag? Eller alltså, känna sig väldigt utkastad någonstans.
Now, the role of women in politics is extremely important, so I can understand why you would want to pick this one, but do tell us why you've chosen to put this in the festival.
So Margot Wallström is the former foreign minister of Sweden, and she was promoting a feminist foreign policy, and I couldn't agree more with that idea. I think if you get women at the decision-making tables, you'll see a really profound change, and we really need it. So I hope this film inspires people to get involved.
And we hear there's some voices in that clip, some very famous voices that we do know here, including Bibi Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, rather. Why are these people involved in these films?
So it's interesting because you see these controversies that played out over the news media, these diplomatic frays, and you see it through her eyes and how it affected her, how it took a personal toll on her as well. So it's a really lift the curtain kind of look at what happens behind the scenes of these diplomatic issues.
And very quickly, what are the dates and location of the festival for anyone who wants to come down and see some of these films?
So it takes place all at the Jerusalem Cinematheque, March 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and you can just go to their website and purchase tickets.
I'll be purchasing some tickets the minute we wrap up. Paula Kweskin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.